WhatsApp is still down. And it almost feels like the old internet. You know what I'm saying? And YouTube at this particular moment, I guess, is a unicorn. But I wanted to recommend a book. It's called Age of the Age or the Rise, known as the Age of Intellectual Capitalism. No. Let me go look it up and make sure y'all get it, because it's a book talking a lot about how invasive a lot of the big tech companies literally have been over the last 4 to 5 years in particular. But being that some people have had Facebook accounts for, let's say, 10, 15 years by now, like, there's a wealth of information about you that's literally stored in these apps. You know what I'm saying? And Facebook, in some cases, becomes like a cataloging of your life. And for a lot of people who don't really keep much more than a phone, it's not like back in the day where you printed your pictures of you with your children. There are a lot of people who take tons and thousands of pictures of their children but never print them because they all have them on a phone. So the book is, I haven't read it in a while, but I gotta finish this joint. It's a real good book talking about just basically how all these tech companies have now become information giants, including your phone owners, the ones that own these phones, Apple, Google, who have you. You know what I'm saying? These guys have tons of information on you, about you, your photos, your memory. Like, their next line of work essentially is effectively mining it for the advertisers. So basically being so deeply in your personal behavior so much via these apps that they can say, okay, he just searched this, so let's send him the ad for the same thing or something similar, and a variety of different capitalistic ways. So it's called the Age of Surveillance Capitalism, and it essentially outlines some of the rules, the laws, and the various different things that has gone into things essentially being the way that they are right now, with your information easily compromised. You know what I'm saying? And being banned on Facebook or any of these platforms is easy peasy as well too. Like, you get shadow banned on Facebook. I've been on Facebook for many years, and you got to think, like, once upon a time you had 1,200 followers, you could reach close to all of them, and maybe it wasn't close to all of them, but a reasonable amount of them. But we're talking about 10 plus years ago, where this was doable. Within the last 4 or 5, and slowly within the last 10 years, but more so, most recently, you can have 30,000 followers, and you'd be lucky if 50 people see a post that you make. That's a part of how they make their money, by diverting people's attention from the shit that they say that they like to the things that people are, businesses and advertisers are paying to market to you. Now, I just so happen to be one of those people who were doing that elite level targeting of people to sell my products online for many years now. So it's like the evolution of it is that Facebook has gotten very good and much better than any other platform ever at extracting information from people for the purpose of selling advertising. Now, it wasn't always like this, because it wasn't always a publicly traded company, and they've had to maneuver differently since the years of being a publicly traded company. But the real talk is, this stuff like this should let you understand that we have an over dependency burden on these social media platforms, especially if you're a business owner. Like, sometimes if you got a hot circle, it's not for everybody, but if you got a hot circle, nice network, you can sell your ice cream, your body oils, your whatever it is that you're selling whatever personal products, so to speak, that you're selling on your Facebook. You should be able to sell that. But these days, you get you a business page, you're trying to sell stuff, unless you're literally pumping it. You get what I'm saying? People are not going to really see you and not really going to buy stuff from you. You got to have a whole lot of other things set up, because the way Facebook is like they don't want you off the apps. They want to keep you on the apps. That's why it's so addictive, particularly Instagram. But when people are bored of whatever it is, they pick up the phone and they go to it. They in between time they go and check. If you make a living based on social media, you check it all the time. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, today I sent out an email to my email list, and I was just like, I'm realizing that I'm actually enjoying not getting these notifications. But the burden or the dependency that we have on technology these days, we've got to really consider. Like, you can check that book out that I said. Really consider that it's very invasive. It's tracking you everywhere you're going. You get what I'm saying? Wi-Fi, what they call Wi-Fi triangulation or something of that nature, is basically when your phone is trying to connect to Wi-Fi at various different positions. When you go to the store, when you go to here, when you go do this. So it's tracking you literally everywhere you go. And of course, your debit cards and most of your financial transactions are doing the same as well too. But the more connected you are to this device, the more connected your name and various other information. Like, the real truth is the who's of who's don't store anything personal in these things. You get what I'm saying? They don't. They don't even have their names attached to emails. Like, a lot of us, we're just out there on the internet. Don't even know what the hell we're doing. But all your information is there. It can easily be compromised. What's happening to Facebook right now is just to show you that that's how easy it is. You get what I'm saying? That's how easy it is to not only be disconnected from billions of people, but also to be like, wow, like, what can I do extra with this time? Like, how can you know what I'm saying? If I have a business, what's next for me? What am I gonna do differently now? Okay, if I don't have Facebook to post anymore, like, where am I gonna post? Where am I gonna populate or let people know that my product is here, or my this or my that? Like, that's a real hustler's gonna do that. So of course YouTube is up. That's why I'm on YouTube at this particular moment. But I've been meaning to be more on YouTube anyways, because that's where it's at. But at the same time, I'm used to being on these platforms a lot more than I am used to being on YouTube. But I can get used to them all, and whatever it is that's out, there's others out there actually, but I'm not going to talk about that at this particular moment. Just really hoping that people are connecting the dots these days. It's not just Facebook that experiences stuff like this. It happens all through all these platforms. Guard your information. Don't put too much out there. Use it with a purpose, and don't let too much of your life center around it, man. It's real important for us not to get too caught up in technology the way we are. And we've got to bring back some of these old forms of communication that still work too. Like, you got to value your email just a little bit more in a day like today. So, I'm going to holler at y'all. Let me know what you think. How you feeling without Facebook and Instagram by the time you watch this? It's probably restored and it doesn't really matter, but in those moments, how you communicate and how you do things might change a little bit. Are you willing to change with it? And how attached are you to these apps? For real.